Hello, hello, hello. What's up? What it do? It's Soul Fam. Thanks so much for stumbling across my channel and this video. This is K&M Witchery or Readings by K&M. That's me. I am Kat Nicoletta Monroe, for those of you who may not know, and this is a pick a card for the next year of your life. Now we're going to do something a little bit different, okay? Because these three piles right here are not actually the piles that you are to pick. I'm going to be shuffling in each pile right now as I tell y'all what to expect. I was just kind of pulled to do it this way, and plus I figured since I'm such an intuitive reader, it just helps with my overall flow to just pull the energies and go. You know what I'm saying? So in all due Mercury retrograde fashion, I just show up and do what Spirit is telling me to do. Otherwise, I will get lost in the sauce. What can y'all expect with these readings? Great question. So we will be diving into the next 12 months of your life from you watching this video, okay? We'll do a little bit of like a present day check-in as well, so you can ensure that this is your pile for now. You can always come back later though. And we're going to essentially dive into what it is that you can expect, things that you need to know, okay? We'll go into as much detail as Spirit will allow me to go into. I have no idea what categories we are to expect, what themes, for example. I heard this one too for pile 3, so look at that bonus. Yeah, so we'll dive in together. Perhaps maybe your intuition is already leading you towards a particular pile. I really wouldn't be surprised if you're already eyeing one. So what is it that you need to know? Remember, Soul Fam, that the future is in fact fluid, and so much is based off of free will. So if there's something that I'm going to channel in for y'all today, number one, remember, this is just the YouTube reading after all, silly, okay? If you want something precise and concise, KNMWinjury.com, baby, I'll take care of you. But otherwise, know that you can change the trajectory of any prediction at any time, even personal readings, okay? This allows you to just foretell what you're currently aligned with, why your intuition brought you to this reading at this time, so that you can formulate the best decisions for yourself in your future, okay? So follow your heart, always, always, always. Oh, well, that was a sneak peek for whoever needed that one. I'm hearing 3 cards. 2, and I heard no, and I heard yes with a nose edge. Ooh. All right, so pile 1 is activated and ready to go. Let's choose some for pile 2, please. I'm hearing this one, and I heard bottom, yes. Okay, pile 2 is activated, ready to go. And I heard yes, 1. Well, this one really just had my attention too, and I heard pop out. Okay. Right into my hand, and 3, ready to go. Trust your intuition, Soul Fam. Perhaps you already have a number in mind. Maybe you're unable to get your eyes off a particular pile, or you just know instinctively that behind this pile lies the answers that you are seeking today. Follow your intuition down to the description box below to the chapter, Soul Fam. Choose the applicable pile 1, 2, or 3, and I'll catch y'all on the other side. Peace. Hello, hello, pile number 1. What's up? What it do? Thank you so much for choosing to tune in and be here today. I have no idea what is behind your pile as of just yet. What we're going to do before we fully dive into what you can expect for the next year, we're going to dive into more of your present state, okay, to determine whether or not this is in fact your reading, and we're going to take it from there. Now, I will state this, pile 1, tapping into your energy. For the most of y'all tuning in right now, there's this like meticulous energy that's coming about from y'all right now. You know, it's Number one, I just heard a writer. So you could be a journalist or a writer. You can be blogging something. You could be writing something out. Maybe you've been really journaling a lot lately. This could also be brainstorming and like lists and things like that, right? It's like there is this very interesting, but rather healthy relationship I'm sensing to perfectionism. And I know that like perfectionism and like a healthy relationship with doesn't exactly coexist, but there is a sense of desire to take control of your life right now. So fam, it's like you could very well be embarking on a change right now, Powell number one. And you want to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, you know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to be a writer as like a profession or have that in the works, but you could literally be rewriting your life right now and writing a new way of being, I'm just hearing, or something. You have more than just like a planted seed within y'all, so to speak. You are now really planting and getting ready for the blossom. What was all of that? Sounds a bit like a riddle. We do have some cards out. So the first one is Fool. Yes, we have that beginning. Now this is the before tarot that I am using for y'all. So you can notice that they have not yet a relationship. For example, the jester and the dog here. Now the jester could just be going by to smell a flower and a friend comes along misunderstanding the action and perhaps maybe wrongfully attacking. Now this is a really interesting message that's coming through because what I'm sensing here is whatever change you are currently embarking on, Pile 1, you can consider yourself now learning to stop and smell the roses, you know, whilst also, again, maintaining this like direction and to-do list, if you will. Because again, that meticulous aspect of you, Pal1, I don't know what it is. Tune in the comments down below and let me know if that resonates with you. Because like it's very Virgo energy. It's very Leo moon energy. Y'all could have a Leo moon. That has nothing to do with this right here, but like, let me come full circle. Presently, you are embarking on a new change, okay? Ready to start anew, whilst also learning how to now enjoy the process. Because one part of you, pile number 1, and we're gonna definitely see into more of the cards here, one aspect of you is ready for happiness, I wanna say. I think deciding to start over again is definitely a very difficult decision, and yet one that you are now ready to embark on happily, willfully. Put in that perspective, right? And with this angry little dog over here, before he becomes a companion in the original tarot, we're dealing with one that is misunderstanding your action right now, right? Perhaps maybe you're catching someone by surprise. Your change, your decision to move on is kind of startling something between you and another person, perhaps maybe more than one person, right? Like sometimes people don't really align with the changes that we wish to embark on our lives because number 1, we can speak about it karmically, right? And like the point of the connection between you and this person has in a way run its course, and thus you are now, you know, misaligning a little bit more, and who knows, maybe you'll reconnect later, but something has been served. 444 on my clock here, by the way. It could also be that they're used to you being a particular way. Give me 1 second. There's a bee that's stuck in my room and I'd like to help him out. Here you go, friend. No stress. Off you go. Wonderful. All right. Oh, no, you're still here. Oh. Turns out it's a wasp. So I'm gonna let you do your thing, okay? You're smarter than a housefly, that much I know. And you're out. Good shit. All right. Let's close that window. Sorry for that intermission. I'm not gonna cut any of that out because, as per usual, there is always... Okay, now my dog wants to leave too. Okay. there's always some form of metaphor, if you will. My dog is going crazy right now. A wasp coming in my room and like banging against the window. There are people that are likely going to leave your life and or are presently leaving your life, and it might leave you in some form of discomfort, disarray. I do really want to bring your attention to the fact that my dogs are going crazy downstairs right now for absolutely no reason, mind you, okay? At least from my perspective. And I'm keeping calm and cool and like going about my day business as usual. And now they're calming as I'm saying this. Notice how there is an interesting method to this madness where you still learn to maintain your cool and continue on despite other people's discomfort. And the more that you carry on, and like, I don't even think that there is a required action for you right now. Pile number one, you're just required to carry on as you are now being called to, if that makes any sense for you. Let's continue pulling some more here. Yeah, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This change is one that is nice and slow. It's meticulous. It's very grounded energy. So outside of just Virgo that I had mentioned earlier, you could have Capricorn or Taurus in your chart, okay? You are now planting that seed. More than that, you have now found it. You're embarking on it. You are now about to transport and start and like, interesting that I said transport, so you could literally be moving, pile one. I meant to say transmute, but hey, there's that. And notice how when you choose to start, like there's silence in the other room right now. You know, you're moving away, you're shifting away from people that are perhaps maybe friends. It could be a whole society. You could be moving away from family, from a partner, from perhaps maybe it's work or something, right? There's some sort of a misalignment that is now taking place because you are now becoming new, pile number one. Present day reading for y'all so far is you embarking on something new, making the choice to take it slow, to enjoy your life. You know, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, talk about making that choice. There could be some travel that you have foreshadowed or at least planned right now, okay? So that is something good to know. It could be somewhere that you have never yet been before, okay? Be wary of the onlookers, okay? Now, again, I have no idea what's behind those cards right now. I will tell you, pile number one, that whatever plans you do have for yourself, perhaps maybe keep them a little bit more of like a secret, okay? Keep them to yourself. Like your decisions don't have to be shared with absolutely everybody, okay? Especially because we got a lot of people that are currently aligned to misunderstanding you, okay? And that's not always out of intention, because what I also want to do is move out of the narrative that people are doing it like to you, you know what I mean? Sometimes people act in a way that is really selfish and foolish and arrogant to themselves. You know what I mean? Like they don't actually consider how their actions or opinions, etc., might in fact impact another. That doesn't excuse their poor behavior, but it definitely does share the current recommendation for you to keep your plans quiet to yourself, because those who are on looking right now, those who are trying to get in your business, just might stir up some shit that you can just avoid. You can just keep to yourself. The point is, so far, your present day energy is telling you to keep on moving, to keep on going, just one step at a time. I have that song from Anastasia in my head. One step at a time. I don't know the freaking song, but yeah, great movie, by the way. I love Anastasia. Your name might be Anastasia. Maybe you're going to Asia. I don't know. Maybe Russia. I know. Okay, hold on. I got it from the name. Okay. Anyways, see, misunderstandings are bound to happen. You're going to say one thing, people are going to jump to their own conclusions, make their own connections. You could just avoid it, right? Unless you're like me and could laugh about shit and move on. Now, we also have the Two of Cups. So this could be you perhaps maybe thinking about going towards a connection. Maybe there has something to do with like a love of sorts. It could be marriage. It could be you just got engaged. You are getting married. If you were completely single, you can now honestly be kind of aligned to potentially meet somebody if that is something that is of interest to you, okay? If not, that could just really, the Hierophant out here could really signify a beautiful chance to like learn something. There's some wisdom that you can really gather here. And I think you're really showing up to this new version of yourself, of your life, in such a way that you have now found this really wonderful balance of your masculine and feminine energies within yourself, okay? Because we both are made up of yin and yang, okay? You are now more comfortable, let's say, with your emotional self, whilst also what is required of you in the human experience. You're very grounded, right? This is really giving me a lot of emotional intelligence, okay? Healthy detachment. You're approaching life right now with like this newfound wisdom. I do want to say that like Pal 1, y'all are feeling like gang, you know what I mean? Like we can hang out for sure. Y'all are about your fun and your adventure and your change, whilst also being very, you're smart about it. Street smart, intuitive smart, intellectual, you know, there's this wisdom from you right now. And I will say that there is a little bit of like pain and like, you know, that I'm feeling regarding, other people's opinion or like people that you wish could come along with you. But there is something here coming out right now that you're aligning to that is going to likely bring about people who are more connected to you, okay? Like the Two of Cups doesn't always have to be a soulmate of a relationship variety. Soulmates also come in platonic forms, right? You can really meet a new friend along the way that just opens up really wonderful doors for you of like understanding and alignment. So definitely stay open for that, okay? I'm getting pulled to pull one more card here for your present day energy. We're going hella deep in all of this, so I don't know how long we're gonna have this reading go for, but I hope you got a nice beverage of any variety and that it is delicious because, yeah. We're going to keep on going here. All right, so the card that came out is the Nine of Wands. And I do want to say that it did come out sideways, right? We saw how it landed seemingly like this. Obviously, it was flipped over. Now, as always, there's a method to my madness when I am channeling. Everything is a quote-unquote metaphor here, okay? When cards come out sideways, this gives me a signal that there is some form of a choice to be made. Are you going to choose it to be upright or in reverse? Okay, here we have an intruder passing through our boundaries. They're not fully secured. Maybe we just didn't see it coming and something snuck through, right? We can't always prepare for every single sight of chaos or betrayal or uncomfortable human experience. We'll just leave it at that, right? But nevertheless, something comes through. Something is shaking up your peace right now. So this could very well be, because this is a wolf. So this is kind of giving me that wasp energy. So there might be one person in your life. Notice how, I mean, I hope that the audio picked it up. I'm sure it did though. I thought it was first a bee. I approach my window and what is banging up against my window is a wasp. Okay. So what you thought was a friend turns into someone that could really sting you and like keep on going, okay? Now, you can make your own personal connections as to who or what group of people this could be for you, okay, based on your own personal scenarios. But the choice here is to now fight it, resent it, set some boundaries, be silent about it, to cross over all of that, right? Like, ultimately, this is a nice little bow of that recommendation to keep going, keep your peace, because whatever is meant and sent to quote unquote attack you due to misunderstanding, due to some form of like wound that you are unfortunately some form of catalyst for, right? Like, let me put in this perspective, right? The Fool energy, I love the Fool energy. Jesters in general are freaking awesome spiritual beings in my personal opinion. But nevertheless, to hold that kind of energy, to be unafraid of starting new, to be the quote unquote fool in the room, to willingly be misunderstood solely for authenticity and a lot of intellect. Never underestimate the wit and intellect of the fool, the jester, okay? Jester often played as an informant for kings, for crying out loud, you know? To choose authenticity triggers other people because you act as an invitation for them to show up as themselves as well. And that can really bug some people, okay? So instead, you're left with some onlookers, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if somehow later, I don't know, some form of like spying energy comes through or some shit. But yeah, you are now meant to continue doing what it is that you are doing, my friend. And if this all has aligned to you so far, okay, let's move on and see what you're really here for. And that is to discover what is next in the year. So if this was your present day situation, it resonated and all, I hope that the next 12 months help paint a better picture as to what all of this is now leading to. So let's hop right into it. We have intention, greatness, get out of here, resistance, okay, I get it. We have death, all right. We have trick, there's that jester energy coming through. We also have courage and we have magic. There's this beautiful protection here. I am hearing one more, but it is going to be from the Animal Apothecary deck for y'all. I don't know what it is. Something here is pulling me. By the way, if you're ever curious about what decks I'm using, I usually always list them down below, so you can always check that out. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe if you feel called. I'd love to connect with more of y'all, especially in the comments. We have nourishment while waiting. All right, bottom of the deck here, we do have unknown gifts. So I'm gonna just invite this on in here, okay? Number one, I am called to let you know that you are fully guided and protected on your way this year, okay? Now, what types of changes you are going to undergo is one that might actually come in unexpectedly, okay? It could be through conversation and such where I am hearing something about an online community. So there might be a friend online that kind of acts as that soulmate, for example, that connection. Shout out to Nikki at the Holistic Crystals. I have never met her, and her and I have been so tight since 2020. Just sharing our magic with each other and growing so close intuitively and in our divine femininity. We did some classes and some courses. We got certified in NLP and hypnotherapy together. I was like, girl, like, come with me. Like, we're doing this shit together, and we did. And so it could be something like that for you too. It might be someone online, for those of y'all whom this may apply, that you just might create an unexpected, wonderful bond with someone. But let's keep on moving from that. Just know that you are fully protected on your way, on your path. Now, the death card coming out here, okay, alongside trick, the changes, the transformation, the metamorphosis that you are going to be undergoing throughout the next year is going to fool people into, again, further misunderstanding you. Unfortunately, it seems as though the present day lessons or experiences that you are currently, having, that are teaching you boundaries and to pull back from people who, again, are somehow they just want to misunderstand you. They're committed to misunderstanding you. You are undergoing an intentional transformation right now towards your highest self and being. It could be something that you have resisted for quite some time. Okay? And this unknown gift, sorry, this camera just doesn't want to cooperate with me today much, but that's all right. Hopefully you guys can see everything decently enough. Yeah. Oy, oy, oy. Mercury retrograde. Whatever, we flowing with it. Honestly, perfectionism out the window. We're just here to do what we're here to do. And that's the type of grace that I think you need to offer yourself as well, Pile One. Okay? Because no matter the changes that you are now undergoing and the shifts and the repositioning of yourself, it's you're going to be kind of getting to know yourself and this unknown gift of yours. You could be a singer. You could have this ability to communicate. And here we go back to that writer. Okay. You have a story. You have an experience that is worth putting out there. It's worth sharing. And maybe that's some of that wolf, quote unquote, wasp energy, that trickery, that switch up energy that I'm sensing here of people whom had maybe been really close to you at one point, and now you're coming out with something that disrupts their peace too. For a very select few of you, you could be doing kind of a tell-all about how somebody else perhaps maybe had done something onto you, okay? I'm just going to leave it at that because there's a few different scenarios coming this way, but it's your story to tell after all. And that kind of sparks some anger in someone, right? But you're done keeping the peace about something, so you want to put it out there, and it's going to take courage. Or if that has nothing to do with anyone, okay? Because I think, again, that was probably only for a couple of y'all tuning in. It could require courage for you to continue to step into your power and uncover this gift that has remained unknown publicly for so long, and where this trick energy comes in here, it's almost, it's feeling very magical now, it's almost and what's next up my sleeve, and you pull out a really cute bunny rabbit, one that's nurtured and cared for it, and not just chilling in a sleeve for 50 hours. But point is that you're magical. You get to pull out surprises, and there's no coincidence that I used a bunny as an example, because that's a signifier of abundance, right? And that Knight of Pentacles energy of you grounding something abundant in your life, in your physical reality, could very well be tied into your metamorphosis, okay? And it requires you to choose yourself. It requires you to undergo quite a transformation, okay? And there are going to be a lot of people talking. There are going to be a lot of people whom are looking to connect with you, okay? Because the talk doesn't always have to be negative. I think one thing, especially as far as this resistance towards any change that might be present for you within the next year or so, okay? Understand that you won't make everybody happy, okay? Nor is everybody displeased with your changes. You are now literally shifting realities and alignments, And what I mean by that is everyone resonates on a particular quote unquote vibration until they move and shift, right? Now, it's not always just that black and white and very simple, but when you make the decision to shift yourself and your reality in such a way that you literally become anew, meaning you have a newer set of values that you are incorporating. Perhaps maybe your routine starts changing. Maybe you're physically starting to change, okay? You have made healthier decisions for your mind, body, and soul, and thus it is now coming to light. Like, you could be on a weight loss journey this year. You can be on a business journey, like an entrepreneurship. You can be launching something, okay? You could be changing environments entirely. You could do all of the above. If it's not weight loss, maybe you're like looking to get muscle, okay? Like, you're changing yourself. You're choosing healthy. You're choosing your greatness, something that you have resisted for quite some time, likely because you kept yourself small and quiet for the acceptance of others, you know? And I keep bringing that out because there's this people-pleasing nature that I'm feeling with my pal ones, right? Which kind of talks about that meticulousness, you know? It's like you want to make sure that all is well, that everything is good. But again, soul fam, how other people perceive you is no longer any of your damn business, okay? Or at least the recommendation here is to stop making it your business, because when you intend to shift your reality and other people are perhaps maybe aligned more so to staying the same, you will cause misalignment, disagreements, triggers in other people, and you will also come full circle on this change and transformation, okay? Because death is just a transmutation of energy. It is not the end all. It is just a change. We shift from one vibration to the other, one plane of existence to the other, right? One door closes, the other opens, so to speak. So you are going to welcome in people that are more aligned to your new set of values that you are incorporating into yourself. The Hierophant being a 5, number 2, this is change that you're embarking on with that wisdom that you are now being granted. So I'm going to tell you this, okay? The next year of your life could bring about some known challenges, okay? And what's really lovely here is that for the most part, it seems as though they are kind of like personally inflicted challenges, but in a good way, willfully, looking to take the long route towards change and transformation, outside of there being like a bunch of like chaos, which could, again, for some of y'all, just ignore them. Let people misunderstand you if you must. I have to put my phone on silent because this is now getting annoying. It is also, by the way, 5:05. More changes. So it's not necessarily that you're going to be beat up by external inflictions of change. This is you choosing yourself and your greatness and building more on that, right? Learning how to kind of balance the two. And again, people from your present may very well kind of become your past, okay? And you are required to nourish yourself, to put yourself first, okay? To choose yourself, be healthy, to love on yourself, right? And notice how there's this little cute, like, what's it called? Oh my gosh, I don't know if this is a hamster or it's a little mouse, but nevertheless, they gather, right? They're very meticulous little beings, so you can still love on yourself meticulously, awaiting nourishment and also keeping away dimensionally from those who are maybe looking to inflict some pain or to yap and squawk at you in ways, right? Like, we're in completely different realities. I know I'm reading this very intuitively right now, but it does line up. And oh my God, there's another 5 there. Look at that. You're choosing to change. And not a lot of people understand what the fuck that means. To choose authenticity is to take accountability without blame, I hope, although other people may cast some blame on you, okay? But you can just let them go. I just opened up my window a little bit, and I just said, you can leave when you're ready to leave. And that wasp just said, whoo. I even told it it's smarter than a fly, because flies just sit there and they hit that window no matter how many times. You literally are like, it's right there. They're like, nyeh, 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 nyeh. I'm like, okay. Anyways, interesting relationship with bugs, it seems. Let me sip some coffee here. See what else I got. With greatness definitely comes responsibility, okay? And I think maybe my nose itched on that. There might have been some self-sabotage in play, okay? Now, self-sabotage, by the way, doesn't mean that like everything is your fault, okay? Even though I'm saying like these are self-imposed challenges, like the challenge is to accept the necessary discomfort in order to solidify and ground change is something that is, I can feel you're just going to be willing to do it. Like you're going to find a lot of this really courage, this beautiful courage, and make it happen, okay? And it could be something that you're going to be uncovering this year. And by the way, a year is 12 months. So it's a nice, slow process, okay? Definitely don't be trying to like heal yourself all at frickin' once or in one season, because that's kind of impossible. It always comes in waves. But what I'm saying here is self-sabotage is Mercury retrograde, work with me. Self-sabotage is unconscious, okay? It is based on limitations. It is based on upbringing, experiences, things that have really taken a hold on specific narratives, and you are now changing your story, okay? You are now letting go of that resistance and in fact allowing success, allowing happiness into your life, okay? You might very well come to these very deep psychological realizations that perhaps maybe you fooled yourself and you've tricked yourself, or you have been bamboozled by perhaps maybe those whom have raised you or something, okay? There's something here about upbringing. I recommend therapy, okay? Please go see a professional of your choosing, and allow someone to help you through the emotional and mental process of everything. Because again, that interconnection is going to be really helpful for you in this overall wonderful transformation as you uncover this unknown gift that is just yourself. It's your soul. It's your existence. It's your magic, right? But again, using the resources that you have that are rightfully aligning towards the person that you are and or wish to be. Connect with more of those individuals, okay? Because didn't I put you on silent? Like, what is happening? Because as much, I guess the emphasis on connection is really high here, okay? Because, shoot. Just as much as you're going to be losing some people, you're going to be gaining them too, okay? And I know that there might be a lot of narratives in the collective. I have been witness to many of them myself on social media, just people's responses sometimes to like my threads, for example, or, just witness to different conversations through clients, etc. I admit perhaps maybe in some ways I was also like this too, but I always kind of kept a more optimistic approach to it. Nevertheless, people may not always be open to coming along with you. They might paint you out to be kind of like the devil, accepting that and understanding that it has so much less to do with you and so much more to do with their own resistance. That will keep you afloat and focused on your own intention towards your change and everything, okay? Like this being the very first card out here as far as all of that, like you are intending to do whatever it is that you're set out to do. Shoot. And a lot of that will have to do with rewiring your perspectives and limitations. And it will trigger people around you. And it could also inspire many others too. So connect with people whom are more aligned with the person that you are becoming. And so they can keep you accountable and safe and connected, because I don't know, there's like this sense of being afraid of like being alone or being like misunderstood forever, okay? And like I keep wanting to reiterate that's not the case. Yes, we can absolutely acknowledge the fact that there are people who are going to be deceived by your change and going to take it personally and maybe even attack you in a form or a fashion, okay? But your ability to practice the discernment, which you have already learned, by the way, like your level of acceptance towards this change and embarking nice and slow and enjoying your life, smelling the flowers, like I can tell you one thing, pile number one, you've already undergone a lot of healing to, like, this isn't just you starting on a healing path. No, this is now you allowing that metamorphosis to actually be that person that you have been healing towards, you know, like this is that year that you get to witness yourself become that. And again, that's going to welcome in some wonderful physical changes. Your reality will change, your environment will change, maybe you physically will change. It could be as simple as a haircut, new fashion pieces, like it could be anything. But it is a shift nonetheless that is going to take place in physical form. And it's going to really require some courage, and it will also increase your level of courage. All you got to do is be a little bit more selfish and truly understand that you are protected in this case, okay? I can tell that your intentions towards your greatness is to love yourself a little bit more, to be happier, to be healthier. I think you are and have been witness to a lot in life. I think that is the least I can say, considering it is 2024 at the time of us recording. And I mean, hey, it's like every month there's a whirlwind of something crazy that is just blowing our minds. And you are now shifting, you're choosing something different. Whatever that means for you individually will, of course, differ. So fam, I did hear my snaps. So I do hope that this reading helped to provide a little bit of courage to whoever needed it, okay? Know that I see you. This is going to be quite a transformative year, where I do want to say, before I completely close off, okay, some final thoughts here and some recommendations, advice, so to speak. Give yourself some patience and grace as you are allowing yourself to process and transition, because you are in a way going to undergo maybe even multiple ego deaths, okay, which can feel quite heavy on the soul, so be wary of any shame, any blame, any self-guilt, or any of that type of vibration, okay, which again, I'm going to recommend you obtain some form of therapeutic assistance. I myself am trained in NLP, in CBT, in hypnotherapy, okay, so if any of that aligns to you, check out knmwitchery.com. You could book a personal reading with me or with anybody that aligns to where and who it is that you want to become, okay? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever it is, connect to whoever it is that your soul is now aligning to, and let the rest go. You're okay, you're safe now. All right, so take it easy on yourself. Happy transforming, okay? It may seem very slow at first, but I think it's going to pick up quite quickly for you. Nevertheless, I think slow and easy and a calm nervous system is exactly what it is that you are hoping for. So that is what I wish for you, okay? Lots of love, wealth, and happiness over to you, pile number one. Thank you again for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Let me know with a comment down below how you resonated. Be sure to please subscribe, join the tribe. I am planning on posting a lot more as of now on. So yeah, let me know perhaps maybe if you have any pick a card ideas that you would like me to create for y'all. That would be great. I'd love some suggestions. Otherwise, if I don't see you in another pile, I do hope to see you in another video. Peace. Hello, pile number 2. What's up? What it do? Thank you again for being here. I'm excited to channel in for you what to expect in the next year or 12 months or so. Before we dive into the cards that you have selected, which by the way, I have no idea what's behind here just yet, we're going to dive into your present day energy, okay? So you can really determine whether or not this is your pile. Feel free to always come back at a later date as well to confirm what has or has not come to fruition. Check out another pile also if you feel drawn to it. And for sure, comment your resonances down below, please, because I would love to hear from you. I'm using the Queen Alice Tarot for y'all today. If you're ever curious, by the way, of what Lover's card came out, it's wonderful. What cards I'm using, you are free to check that out below. I typically list them. Okay. I heard no to these ones. Yes. No. Okay. Interesting. All right. For one, I'm going to say this. Y'all are a unique crowd, okay, of energy. For one, it's actually quite late, my time right now, and I was immediately pulled to your energy pile too. And this could tell me, number one, you may very well be kind of like a night owl, if you will. Okay, quite a creative soul, very grounded, very soft, or at least you're trying to be, okay? You may have like a hard knock life type of a thing that you are letting go of. You're moving forward into a much more grounded place. The Lover's card could very well have to do something with a relationship. Let's flip over the last cards here. The Fool card here, it's really interesting because in pile 1, the Fool card was the first one to come out too. Very interesting. Okay, so Fool, Wheel of Fortune, and Judgment. Okay, for some of you, take it as it resonates. You may either be getting into a relationship or currently, and this is like present day energy, okay? So in and about this time, you could be thinking about a breakup, a divorce, or it's currently happening. You may be caught by surprise for some of you, okay? But I do think that it is a personal choice in some regard. Or again, you are looking to kind of like turn the fates and like the wheels of time and do something forward. So there's something monumental when it comes to your relationships, pile number 2. I'll tell you that much, okay? Who's tuning in right now, like that part differs between y'all, okay? Some of you are newly single. Some of you are now merging your families, aka through marriage. Perhaps maybe there's some sort of like a foundation change. There could be some travel in play here as well. With Judgment here, there could be something to do with a court, okay? So again, divorce and or marriage could very well be in play here. If not any of that above, then it seems to be some sort of like a karmic contract between you and another person. This is kind of feeling like a love reading, although I'm not gonna lie, soul fam, the direction of which it goes will differ to everyone tuning in. Now, the 5 of Wands in reverse is the thing that's kind of, well, alongside the Wheel of Fortune, that's kind of turning it all confused for me, okay? Because upright, this is an ego battle, okay, between you, likely others, if not others directly, as in you have an external conflict between yourself and another person. This could very well be kind of like you fighting like your own quote-unquote demons, okay? Perhaps maybe some old memories are coming up right now and they're kind of smack dabbing you, and It all being in reverse, however which way it's playing out for you, whether it's an external chaos or internal turmoil, okay, it's now being released. Something is being let go. It feels as though, like I immediately just felt like my shoulders relax, you know? It's like a weight is literally being lifted off of your shoulders. And again, this could mean that now you've kind of like, quote unquote, like found the one, you're moving into an upwards trajectory with another person, or you're moving a different direction entirely from another person, okay? 'Cause whatever this Fool energy is, it is something that is a little bit new for you personally. And again, it will differ per person. If you want something precise and concise, ever, by the way, knwitchery.com is where you book with me specifically. And then we can really dive into the nitty gritties. I will tell you this, the Queen of Pentacles right here is really beautiful energy, because this is you honing in your, I heard presence. You're really grounding into yourself, right? Like regardless of your gender, tuning in, okay? The Queen of Pentacles is one that is grounded, that is solidified within herself. She's very kind, she's very rooted. And again, gender aside, with Judgment here, you may have very well set some boundaries as of recently. And you're solidifying more of that, I would say. I will say this. It feels as though things are really working out in your favor right now. But some of you tuning in, a very select few of you, may disagree with that. It may feel as though like your life is topsy-turvy and you're not really comfortable. You're feeling as though the change that's occurring must be bad, because maybe you feel quite, like, what's the word, like unnerved? Like it's not, I don't know, you just feel like uneasy, anxious. There's this like underlining nervous feeling that maybe you're not exactly where and with who you're supposed to be. Meanwhile, with others of y'all tuning in, you're feeling as though you really found the one, right? So some of you are taking this breakup not so lightly, as, I mean, empathically, I definitely understand. We can maybe lighten up that load with a perspective change, okay? Because ultimately, if this sort of separation brings you closer to yourself, which a lot of y'all don't really want to hear. I understand that. But there is a big power behind that, okay? I guess is ultimately what I can say. Now, there might be a nervousness about taking your relationship to the quote-unquote like next step, okay? So you could be newly engaged. Perhaps maybe you are recently pregnant. Perhaps there was a loss that has been incurred in either which family, and you're kind of mourning a life lost together. It's like a completely different phase within your relationship, but like something quite grand. This Five of Wands, I'm telling you, this energy, it's like a sudden change that you are now currently, as of tuning in, most likely, Soul Fam, you are currently enduring it, or like just have overcome it and you're just waiting for the pieces to fall into play, good and or bad, okay? I gotta be fair to all of the stories that I'm tuning into, so my bad if it's not exactly precise and concise to y'all, but hopefully that gave you enough of a check mark to be like, yep, this is my reading. So pile 2, we're going to continue on to the cards that we had pre-pulled for you. We have 1. Okay, we have Nourishment. Very beautiful. And we have Resolution. I'll tell you this, whether or not you are in a relationship, okay, no longer matters to me. This is about you, pile number 2, okay? This is your story that's coming out here. You are now finding a deeper connection to yourself. The Queen of Pentacles here you choosing to let go, whatever it is, this Five of Wands energy, okay, for it to no longer be that turmoil for you, you know, has allowed you to find a oneness within yourself. You know, there's this great acceptance that I'm sensing here. And what's really beautiful, this kind of gives me that energy of the Seven of Cups, but it's all going down into one place. There's this really beautiful chakra alignment here too, with all of these wonderful little rainbow colors. You know, it's all coming down to a center point where you're really rooting yourself. And that has something to do with your relationships. Whether this relationship is with yourself and or others, it definitely comes back down to the self, okay? So it really depends which way the pendulum is swinging for you as far as personal experiences goes. We have joy. It did come out in reverse, but I'm going to take it upright. We also have transform. Talisman, and divine masculine. And I'm hearing one more. So just like the, oh, I guess I'm just going to pull from this tarot. Let's see. The one on top. I'm hearing, yep. Okay. So we have the Four of Swords. It did come out in reverse. I'm pulled to take it upright. So let's see what that brings together. Okay, so I immediately want to drop my shoulders. A newfound relax. Okay, that's what this next year is going to bring you. There is this opportunity for you to sit back and witness your hard work really pay off. Okay. With joy and transform, we have two winged bugs, I guess. Sorry, I don't really think that, whatever they are, the literal name for them, if we need to get all specific. Flowers too, so there's abundance, there's wings, there's growth, there's some sort of metamorphosis occurring here. You're going to make peace with a lot of personal situations that have once again caused you a lot of turmoil or something. There's something about the word turmoil that keeps coming out. You know, I am seeing a vision of someone grabbing onto their head in fetus position, rocking back and forth. Okay. It's like whatever it is that you had undergone, pile number 2, you now have this opportunity to wash away. The rain outside, the pull to your energy is really no coincidence. It's nightfall. It's peaceful. You have this opportunity right now to just be. And I will say that the energy that I'm kind of pulling out is one of like some boredom. Okay, like you may be quite bored this year, but that's a good thing because it's giving you the opportunity to find joy in the little things, and especially to help you find any resolutions to any anxieties that used to cause some form of a disruption within you. If you are in a relationship, let's talk about this. Okay, we're going to do the singles in like a hot second, or newly singles, I should say. But anyways, if you're in a relationship, there is likely yourself or your partner, perhaps maybe the masculine within your relationship, however it is that resonates with you, could have really undergone a lot of challenges. There's something about male figures in general that are of deep significance here, okay? So maybe, sorry, this is like a slight digression, but I got to put this out here. Maybe you're healing something with like your father wound, okay? Or your partner is healing their father wound, but there's something here about the father wound that is now coming to light and being healed. And if you're in a relationship, this is something that you had undergone with your partner. If it doesn't necessarily have to do with any wounding of the aforementioned, perhaps it is something of a physical nature, you're going to have likely an opportunity to move, okay? There is a sudden shift of environments. You could literally be moving here with a talisman, okay? It could be through intuition. And you and your partner, after having gone through whatever it is that you have gone through as a unit, personal stories apply. You are now moving and shifting away from that. It's like this brand new beginning is coming to light. Now, for those of y'all whom are newly single, because again, there is something here about a breakup, okay? I can't run away from that potential here. The outcome of your quote-unquote singleness is actually going to be quite beautiful, okay? You could very well, in fact, stumble across somebody new, okay? Somebody that is maybe more healed, okay, of the divine masculine stature, for example, okay? So this could be a unfolding twin flame journey of sorts, if you believe in such things. Okay, let's not resonate on that, though. It could just be a soulmate or a really great connection. Fuck the labels. Nevertheless, if not, it's just a really wonderful opportunity for you to, in fact, find the key to your own soul, to find oneness and balance within yourself, to nourish yourself. Notice how it all comes back down to one, but a shift of environment is definitely key here, okay? So not only is Talisman really offering you the opportunity to open up tools of divination of sorts, and having that wisdom really come through here, you get to, in a way, shift your environment towards more peace, towards similar to what I had previously spoken on, like finding the joy in the little things, you know, going through this transformation, healing any wounds within yourself, finding a lot of peace, being a little bit more bored, but yet resolving so much more. There is also a physical transformation that I'm sensing here with my pile number 2s, okay? I think you guys are just like taking the power back of like yourself, okay? Single or otherwise, you are loving on yourself that much more. This is a year, I will say, of more peace, which is why I'm calling it kind of boredom. You may be maybe looking for a little bit of chaos once in a while to kind of stir things up. Okay, that 5 of Wands energy is quite strong, but I hope that you kind of brush that aside and reground yourself, okay? And allow yourself to process any mental angst that you might have to process. I would really pay attention to your dreams this year, okay? Because they're really going to feed into a sense of clarity. You know, it's like when you uncover certain layers to yourself, right? Regardless of your attachment style, regardless of whether or not you're doing this alone or with a partner, you get to ground this spectacular opportunity of knowing a life, or at least even a season of your life, without hypervigilance, without your nervous system being a wreck, without always having your fight or flight activated. You're now given this opportunity by the universe this year to give to yourself. And a relationship and or lack thereof has something big to do with you, group number 2. My neighbors are out chilling in their backyard, it seems. So open, by the way, yeah, if you hear noises, just ignore it. If you are open to connection that just might very well do you a lot of good, okay? Because there's going to be this pull towards seclusion, okay, and healing, which is definitely recommended. I think some ambivert types of vibes would be good for you, meaning that there's some extroversion as well as introversion, right? Like how it is that you refill your battery, so to speak. Is it with other people or is it in your solitude? Your energy will likely differ. You'll be pulled to a lot more solitude, and yet Spirit is inquiring you to, in fact, connect a little bit more too with others, okay? Share the wisdom, share the peace. It's less about popping bottles and more about surrounding yourself with people who can really bring that balance and connection into you, okay? And I really like that there's this, there's something about a relationship that is transforming. I'm really pulled to this butterfly here now. So what is it? What deck am I being pulled to answer this question? The Fountain Tarot. Y'all, your energy is really slow. It's really docile. It's really, like, it's very chill. I think it's great after a long day, to be honest. It's the type of relax that a lot of people wish for. I think that you've wished for this relax for quite some time. But yeah, let's talk about this transformation. We have the Seven of Wands now in reverse. Okay, so what was once thought to be consistently defended, it's like you had to like overly defend yourself all the time. You were on high alert all the time. You know, and it's not even that you chose fight, right? But even your flight, you always felt like, I don't know, I'm sensing here like it's kind of like a sad tune, you know, like this trumpet's like wah, 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 like it your past was a really difficult one, okay? I'll tell you that much. And now you're being gifted this opportunity to let so much of that guard down and go. The thing is, though, is you just might be looking for chaos where it doesn't exist, right? I mean, I suggest maybe just watching some like horror thriller movies. I did read somewhere that like those who had undergone some form of, let's say, trauma, they really like watching horror and thriller movies and things like that because it creates a sense of danger within a safe space. You know, it's like you're hijacking your amygdala essentially and putting yourself in a fight or flight on purpose. But you're totally safe, you know, but you're doing that because you're just so used to consistently being so hyper vigilant or like, you know, on in protective mode. I could definitely relate to all the above, but now you're given this opportunity to chill. Ace of Swords. There's going to be this wonderful newfound clarity for y'all, okay? I think that and I wish I could get more specific, you know, but sometimes Spirit offers a little bit of blockages here. You know what it is that you got to know, especially that this is a collective YouTube reading after all. There is going to be this newfound stability within how it is that you perceive yourself, how you perceive life, how you perceive partnership, how you want to be valued, how it is that you are to ground all of that. And with peace, there's certain transformations, even on like an emotional level, like this nourishment definitely feels emotional. These are all cups. I mean, I know they're vases, but like it's giving me that Seven of Cups energy. It might be confusing. It might touch on different aspects of your life, and yet is going to offer you such deep healing that will open up the opportunity for requited love. And sometimes that requires us moving away from people that we thought we would be with forever, i.e., a breakup. So again, if you are currently undergoing that and that's a painful process for you right now, I'm not going to lie, it'll likely come up a few more times this year, okay, for you to process and release something. And yet it's going to be something that will also allow you to make room for a newfound understanding within yourself and find that inner resolution within yourself, okay? That one could really be about that. Now, if this, again, is someone that I'm connecting to that's in a relationship, that one is that oneness between you and your partner, your person. And that allows you to build a deeper relationship with yourself because you were able to connect with someone like never before. I think whichever way it is, so fam, that like you've undergone something that most people probably won't even be able to fathom experiencing themselves, okay? Which is probably a lot of the reason why I can't get overly specific. For one, my intention is never to trigger people. Number two, it can be so specific that it's only for you to really know and understand and process and release, you know? And love's really got a lot to do with it. Because I got that song, What's Love Got to Do With It, in my head. But it was more so sung as in like, love's got everything to do with it, you know? I think some of y'all just really need to find like that spark and that joy in your life again, you know? And this is again why I'm bringing it down to like the little things. To find peace and serenity and joy in quote unquote boredom. To be able to just look, you know, I think y'all just need to like sit on your porch or something and just look out and ground yourself into the here and now. Look at the trees and leaves sway. Listen to the buzzing of random bugs and the birdies' tweets, and maybe your neighbors are out having a good old time, and you take a sip of that tea and that coffee and you really taste it, you know? Like you're just in that moment. And if you don't have an environment in and around you that will allow for that, go somewhere, perch somewhere. I know that there is somewhere that you can go, particularly out in nature is what I would highly recommend, but nevertheless, wherever it is that is your safe, your happy space, go sit there and quote unquote be bored. See what comes up for you. Allow the emotional processing and shit too, by the way, because that's going to be heavy for some of y'all occasionally this year, okay? But with a lot of deep transformation, there has to come emotional releases. It's how it is, and in fact, we gain that newfound mental perspective and clarity. You know, we make room for that by actually releasing and experiencing something. This key is this like wonderful key to yourself, to your soul, to your heart. And it has something to do with the relationship. The relationship was a catalyst to this decision to change, to slow down, to heal. Or it's you and your partner now having this opportunity because whatever it is that you both were witness to and undergone together is now ready to be healed. And it's funny, I have the Ace of Cups here, by the way. It's funny because I keep kind of wanting to ask, like, well, tell me more, like, what else is there? And the thing is, though, so fam, is I think that's the beauty in this type of a year for you, is you just don't know, but you don't have to know. This is a season of patience, of peace, of healing, of grace, of slowing down, and you deserve that. in the Western society, we've been really taught, bamboozled, I say, into believing that the fast, productive hustle life is what life needs to be, and you are to work and work and work until you retire, and even then, good luck nowadays being able to afford shit like that, you know? I mean, let's talk about the reality of the economic situations, and yet there's so much more to this existence than being in a constant state of survival. And you're being blessed this year into having opportunities to rest, to allow yourself the opportunity to rest, to heal. The causes, the topics of healing will range. If you're still here, there's something about a relationship, maybe some daddy issues. With the Ace of Cups, okay, great opportunities, not only for that mental body to change, okay, with this Swords energy of intellect and wisdom and perspective. We have the Cups energy here too. This is emotional connection. Two doves, I mean, again, there is a greater bond that is coming your way between yourself or your partner, between yourself and yourself, or between yourself and somebody new, okay? Whichever way that road goes for you specifically will range per viewer. But it is one that is really beautiful and allows you to come with your cup filled enough to overflow. You know? You no longer have to keep overpouring into everyone else and then taking like 3 times longer to refill that battery. Like, no, like your battery will be filled to such a degree that it's going to consistently keep overflowing. And the thing is, though, is like when you're the happiest and healthiest and most peaceful self you can be, that's when you're able to impact others. How you can show up for others even better, greater, more often, with more energy, with more ability to enact some form of change within them too, you know? It's when we're overly people-pleasy or we're constantly hypervigilant and putting other people's emotional or mental whatever states before us all the time, we lose ourselves. We lose ourselves. And now you get to find yourself. And I think that's beautiful. I just take a sip of water. There's going to be a lot that you're going to be able to also express, okay, to emotionally release. I could definitely recommend therapy. I always recommend therapy, okay? So find yourself a professional, someone that you align with, okay? Whether this is a psychiatrist, a therapist of sorts, y'all are definitely welcome to explore the services I offer. I am a psychic medium, but I am trained and board certified in NLP, hypnotherapy, as well as CBT, moving on to a couple other programs as well. But nevertheless, I've helped many to be able to find this inner peace, and especially with emotional releases on an unconscious level, safely and effectively. So if any of that aligns to you, okay, I definitely invite y'all to book with me a consultation. You could do that on my intuitive therapy page at knwitchery.com. It would be really helpful, whether with me or anybody else, okay, to have somebody perhaps maybe walk you through the realizations, because the ability to express yourself about past pain is going to be quite high. And at one point, okay, like you can definitely do what I do sometimes, and that is pretend like I am speaking to the person that hurt me like directly to them. You know, I put up some music or something, or like I wait until I'm completely home alone and I express myself and I say the shit that I just want to say this to this person. It doesn't matter how mean it is, doesn't matter how absurd it is, how emotionally charged it is. You know, I just fully express myself, and then the logical side of me steps in to be like, okay, well, this is how we can actually deal with the situation with this particular person, you know. Now, again, I kind of have some training and some certifications, etc., in processing certain things. I definitely go to my support groups and my therapists, etc., when I need to dive into something much deeper. Okay. So get your hand held through the process. Don't resist asking for help, okay? Because that message is coming out kind of twice for my pal number twos here, okay? Interconnection is good. Having a friend circle is good. Stepping out of your little hermit shell and shit in order to connect to other people is good, okay? Because that is in fact what is going to deepen that connection and bond to yourself, and thus influence an even greater love between you and another. And maybe you don't know who that person is right now, pile two, and that's okay. It's okay not to know. It's okay to be bored. It's okay to have a season of peace. Matter of fact, it's urged for you. That's a blessing. I have been gifted that type of period in my life to be able to really heal through some deep-rooted shit. And it is boring. On the outside, people are like, yo, you don't really leave your house unless it's like to go to the gym or like groceries, maybe a walk in a forest, but like you don't do anything, you know. And I'm just like, correct. Like I'm processing, I'm healing, I'm working, I got my head down, I got my heart open, and I'm transforming, I'm doing this, and now I'm emerging as someone completely new, healed, more stable, authentic, happy, more peaceful. So trust me when I say it's good to be bored, okay? Allow yourself to be bored, and take advantage of the peace that you are about to receive. Because what happens after that is definitely going to hopefully work out in your favor. I mean, we're only looking into the next 12 months or so. But I think this is going to be a really great 12 months. I think things are really going to be working out in your favor significantly. Again, you get to drop your shoulders some more. There might be some more travel. If not travel, then again, just more rest, more chill. Don't fight it, okay? That's one thing I will definitely say. If you're going to continue to find chaos or like overbook yourself, and do the opposite of what this entire reading has been basically telling you the opposite of, just know that like this is how you create chaos externally from you. This is how we flip this 5 of Wands and we bring it upright. You don't want this energy anymore. You want to let it go, right? We don't have to have chaos and trouble and abuse and arguments and quote unquote failure and shit just not working out in your favor to be the thing that constantly influences change or offers you the reminder to be happy and never take for granted certain things. Like, no, like you can have all of those deeper understandings and lessons being learned without all of that. You know, just let them come up naturally. As you are unconsciously led to feel certain things, you just feel that, and that will offer you so much more clarity. It'll like open up this newfound knowing and peace within yourself, and that is going to really set you up with a very wonderful foundation for what's to come after that year. And you can really solidify it and speed things up and manifest, and you're going to be on a completely new fucking level, bro. Like, I'm excited for you, pal number 2. So this reading was definitely not at all what I expected it to be. The rain is now dying down, and it seems like so is this reading, as I heard my snaps. So, wow, let me know how it is that this resonated with you. If you have any comments, I would love to hear from it. Also, if you have any ideas for any pick-a cards or something that you would like me to do for y'all, let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy to open up to a bunch of different suggestions. I'll definitely be a lot more frequent on YouTube now. So yeah, let me know what it is that y'all want to see from me. And yeah, I guess that's it for me, y'all. If I don't see you in another pile, I do sure hope to see you in another video. So thank you again for being here and spending some time with me, pal 2. And I'll see you around. Peace. Hello, hello, hello. What's up? What it do? Pile 3. Thank you so much again for stumbling across this video and choosing your pile. I hope that you get the messages that you require today. Speaking of today, let's dive into your present day energies first, okay? Before we dive into what is behind these cards here, which I have yet to know. It is the next day, but I didn't allow my curiosity to get ahead of me, to be honest. I just wanted this to be as free-flowing as the other piles, which some of you have come from the other piles, so that's very interesting. Let me know what your resonance were about that down below, if that calls you. Pile 3. I'm gonna tell you this, tapping into your energy, you're very secretive. You like to kind of keep some cards behind your back, not really let other people know your next move. I keep hearing Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. So you could have some Scorpio in play in your chart, or the part of your life that you are most secretive about is the house or houses, depending on which system you use, of astrology that Scorpio rules. I'm hearing 2 more. Okay, I saw this, the 10 of Swords. There's things that you have undergone and healed from that, like, I'm sure that not many people, if anyone at all, would know. And that's okay, right? I will say that right now, at this point in time, a lot of what it is that you have healed from is coming up to the surface for you consciously, because these are swords after all, for you to really truly lay to rest, okay? So you don't necessarily have to talk to anybody, although I always recommend therapy, okay? But nevertheless, you can still express yourself to yourself and go through the process of healing, and also communicating and getting things off of your shoulders, you know, through methods of journaling. You can literally do what I do, honestly, at Pile 3, when there is a big emotional release required, you know. What I do is I put my music up, or I wait until I'm like totally home alone, close up all the windows, and just talk out loud as if it's a person that I'm disappointed in or something, right? Like I speak to them as if they're there, and I allow whatever words to come out, not being afraid of what they might think of it, or whether or not I'm being too rude, you know. It doesn't matter. It's allowing a sense of expression to take place. Okay. And it's uncomfortable at first, you know, but nevertheless, it does help in practice to let go of something without fear of people using it against you. Perhaps maybe looking at you with a form of pity or something, because that is one thing, and my nose is itching. I relate to this too, Pile 3, that's why I'm probably picking it up. There's a sense of like, you don't want people to misjudge your capability to handle your shit just based on the stuff that you went through. Like, you're not interested in the quote unquote pity aspect that comes with it. That being said, there is also a call and requirement for you to open up a little bit, okay? The Ace of Pentacles could literally mean like you purchasing therapy with someone, okay? Now, this isn't a ploy, by the way. You don't necessarily have to book with me, although you can at Canam Witchery, okay? But like just with anyone, a professional, right? Set something down in foundation, or again, practice things like journaling, express yourself through forms of creation too, right? I just heard poetry. Okay, so you could do that. You could create some art. You can do some music, you know. I heard painting too. So there's ways of like expressing yourself and getting something off of you that actually really welcomes and stabilizes more of the healing and like, you know, release and patterns of which might just be called for you to do right now, okay? But the point is that some of y'all are really going through some heavy times right now, especially mentally, of things that you thought you had once laid to rest, and yet it's coming back up some form or another, right? Like death in reverse, this is a rebirth and a regeneration of sorts. It's a little bit less painful because, by the way, I'm using the after tarot for you guys. This is after they had found him with all of the swords in his back. You know, like this is now where he gets to lay and rest more peacefully. Recover even, depending on your theory on the 10 of Swords. Let's see what else lies behind here. We have the Page of Wands, the 7 of Coins, the Lovers came out in every single pile, I'm pretty sure. That's Cressy, as well as Temperance. Okay. Do you like my little blocks and stuff to make it YouTube appropriate? I love it. Okay. Page of Wands, 7. Okay, I'm getting a really deep sense of you leaving, you exiting the scene, okay? For some of you, it could be leaving one relationship in order to move into another, even if like you've left that relationship like years and years and years ago, but you also carried some of that with you. And now you're taking what you've learned and acquired within your experiences of likely in your solitude and things like that, and are now looking into merging your energy with another, you know, getting into a relationship or even a situationship, maybe even just putting yourself out there and like dating again, you know, sometimes it could just be that simple. Bro, I've been celibate and single for so long, I don't even bother dating. Like, I'm okay with it. So, hey, who knows? Maybe you're at this point of going like, I'll just give it a try again. And so you do, right? But in order to do that, it still requires you to let go of something, right? If that narrative doesn't necessarily apply, it could just very well be a spiritually led inkling and motivation to move towards some form of connection. Okay, the Lover's card, yes, can be a relationship, but it can also be a connection towards self and finding the balance in between your own yin and yang, right? It could also be finding a sort of unity between yourself and others, soulmates, society. Perhaps maybe you really want to give back to the world in some form or fashion, you know? And it seems that behind the scenes, you sneaky little snake, you have been working on stuff, right? Because this being the after tarot means that everything that he has planted in the 7 of Coins energy, he is now ready to more than harvest. He can start treating himself to what it is that he's built, you know? So you can kind of take your past experiences, especially any pains, and take what you've learned from them in order to apply it towards something. Because no matter what this 10 of Swords is, and I'm not going to pry into that, besides it's a general reading on YouTube, right? Like, I mean, anyways, whatever this 10 of Swords energy is for you to officially lay to rest, perhaps you're undergoing some sort of an ego death right now, or like a quote-unquote dark night of the soul. Big ups to anyone who also has reverse sad, aka summertime sadness, like, you know, just depression in the summertime. That's me. Winter time is my baby, but yet the sun comes out and I'm like, no, misery. You could relate, okay? Whatever this is for you, it's coming out for you to gauge a different perspective in and around as well, okay? And with Temperance out here, I love that Temperance is out here, okay? Because this is allowing for much more flow. You are now, again, spiritually led to go, okay? And what it is that you are building on, what this Lovers potentially is. I don't know. Let's dive into. There could be some monetary gain for you here as well, okay? I don't know why I'm told to kind of decorate it like this. And by decorate it, I just mean position. But anyways, I don't know. Whatever, Mercury retrograde. I am a Mercury in Virgo, by the way, and that's exactly what this retrograde is in. Until it slips into Leo for a little bit. But nevertheless, it's really fucking with me. I'm telling you that much. All right, we have initiation. Yes, it's this call, like this spiritual push to move forward. This is kind of giving me like genie in a bottle. Could kind of have something to do with the Olympics. The Olympics are currently in play as I'm recording this. We have the Rose Phoenix, yet another form of rebirth and like regeneration or something. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. Oh, by the way, all of this is like your year to come, okay? Based on this experience and choice, okay, because the Lover's card also is a big choice. It's a decision to have the apple, to not have the apple, right? And like the fate of basically men and women all over the world was kind of based off of this little thing. But like, nevertheless, you have this choice to perhaps maybe open up your heart a little bit more to whatever degree that means and is comfortable for you, even if that is just you opening up to yourself, okay? I understand what it is, pile number 3, to have authority issues, to have a lot of betrayal from people whom were supposed to be by your side, your gurus, your mentors, your maybe even your parents, you know, and they didn't hit the mark. They disappointed you. They neglected you in one form or fashion. I get it. And rebuilding that relationship, even with yourself, and just, again, being in a room and creating and even destroying. Go to a rage room, bro. That's something I've always wanted to do. I haven't done that yet, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But nevertheless, like, do things like that allow for excess expression in a contained and safe environment for yourself, where you can let some things out because you're being initiated to make room for something. Okay, especially that Temperance here, like you may not have the full conscious knowing and awareness of what exactly is happening. You have some ideas. You've planted some seeds already, okay? You're harvesting something. You're taking something with you, okay? But what the outcome is still a little bit of a mystery because you have to go through like this quote unquote initiation phase. And when we're talking about spiritual initiations or quantum leaping or just ego deaths and things like that, it requires an immense kind of like recalibration of personal perspective because perspective is reality. And your perspective shifts, especially when you allow for old narratives to drop away. And you allow yourself to feel things that perhaps maybe once upon a time you hadn't felt safe to, right? Because it was constantly agonizing and everything. But again, this is the after tarot. So this is the next few moments after that previous experience in the original tarot. And for those of y'all who are unaware, you know what? Let me pull it out. Let's do that instead, because you can understand where it is that you're starting off this year from to where it is, or maybe, I mean, this definitely feels like beyond just the year, but where you're starting from to where it is that you're heading out and finding peace in and things like that, right? There it is. Boom. One by one. People, experiences, quote unquote fate, chance, bad luck, shit just kept on happening. And you kept feeling as though that betrayal just kept going and going on and on and on. Now you have the opportunity to heal that, right? And this year will allow this beautiful initiation process for you to rebirth yourself and reground different types of narratives that could equal a relationship, okay? I don't know. There's certain repeats between all 3 piles so far that are very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if like y'all came from different piles and everything. What else do we have here? Rebirth. Shut the fuck. I mean, you can't make this up. And like, I mean, there's no way for me to prove whether or not I have looked at these cards. I swear I hadn't, but this is crazy. I gotta flip this over. Ooh, I just got corrected majorly. Whoever caught that, good for you. I heard you. We have secret. Yeah. At this point, Spirit's just showing off. All right, we have secret. So being very spiritually led here, okay, especially with these ravens. They're one of my favorite birds. Holding this key and lock towards your destiny, towards your plans. Again, nobody needs to necessarily know, right? You can also have people who play specific roles in your life where you don't always have to expose so much of yourself to one particular individual. You could still approach with caution and yet do the necessary quote unquote work that is required of your healing in order for you to, well, allow for this rebirth to take place for you. And just give yourself permission to open up a little bit more, because here's the thing, right? Like, not everybody is going to hurt you. Not everybody is the same. This is how that perspective changes the types of alignment and the type of people that you welcome in, right? Because unconsciously we kind of like sabotage ourselves before we even have the opportunity to build healthier relationships, because we're already pulling in people that have the same types of patterns that our painful experiences held, you know? And thus we're inevitably kind of like predicting our own fate and woe is me enter violins, because we've seen this coming and this always kind of happens. Like, that's the kind of narrative that's being now like shifted, you know? And you welcome in people who align because you've learned better. And now you have greater opportunities to both find a balance in still keeping to your own values and like secrecy and things like that, right? But also opening up too, because you also have a lock and key, so you can decide. But at the end of the day, there's still a really big push for you within this year to learn how to open up a little bit more. And Scorpio comes out here as well, defend. You can still remain open-hearted and keep your quote-unquote like aura open, your energy open for abundance, open for experiences, open for love and connection, whilst also maintaining boundaries, okay? It's called balance after all. When we reach a point of I have to like sneeze. So my accuracy goes up. I have a unconscious signal, I guess, that I developed through practice of asking spirit, like, to confirm whether or not my messages are accurate, etc., etc. And then my nose itches like crazy when my accuracy goes up. And so when sneezes come in and out like they have for you throughout this reading, it's really emphasizing that I'm at least resonating. Like, this is one of yours, like, personal readings. I'm gonna tell you that much. It's still a YouTube reading, so again, only ever take what resonates. But like, y'all, someone out here, like, I see you. You know what I'm saying? Your aura, your energy is open enough to still feel this really beautiful connection, and yet the boundary is still there. I don't even know who you are. It's your choice whether or not you want to comment down below. I welcome it. Will you accept the invitation? That part's up to you. But just know that, again, you can still remain very open towards love and trust and the opportunity to rebirth yourself into a new and have new experiences, whilst also maintaining your peace, your safety, some of your routine, the way that you do things. Putting yourself first is a good thing, okay? Yeah, that Ten of Swords energy, like that's a lack of boundaries, okay? And now you're ready to lay it all to rest. I am very proud of you. I'll tell you that much. What else do we have here? We got 3 more cards to go, so let's new life. Okay, so we have the Ankh. We have growth with the lovely spiral. Yes. Okay. And we also have gratitude. Yeah. Leading with a different. It's like a change of heart. I got to move this. Yeah, let's do that. Now we can see everything, right, folks? Right. I think. Yeah. All right. So make sure that although we're forever traveling up and down spirals, okay, make sure that you're moving upwards, right? We're going to still go round and around and experience karma the way that we are meant to, but we roll with the different punches and move up the spiral towards, let's say, like ascension or like higher vibration or greater dimensions. Like, I don't know, there's so many different freaking like words for the same shit, but either way, it's just personal evolution. It's self-awareness. Okay, when you choose to spiral up, you are choosing to look at yourself, look at your experiences, to accept the lessons, to move forward and change trajectory by showing up differently, by actively doing the uncomfortable work to shift perspectives, to change behaviors. And speaking as someone, so I've always been a psychic medium, right? I'm now trained and board certified in NLP and hypnotherapy because there was something about that like unconscious mind connection that like is so tied into intuition that I always really deeply wanted to understand. And what I'm saying is that when you build that relationship, again, even just with yourself, and you allow yourself to express things that, let's say, like your inner child never was able to comprehend, you now have the consciousness, the awareness, the experience, the wisdom as an adult to now give some of that information and awareness back to your quote unquote inner child, right? So as I developed into the woman that I am becoming continuously, I allowed myself to begin to answer questions that I never really quite understood growing up. And relating this on a more like trauma basis without offering any specificities after all. But anyone who has experienced really deep hardship, especially as a child, had grown up wanting to understand why people and tick the way that they do. They wanted to understand themselves because they never had the opportunity before. It was always putting other people's emotions or experiences or desires before themselves, you know, and it's all very new when you start giving to yourself. But I'm going to tell you this, that a new life, a rebirth, a new perspective, different types of connections, love exists when you choose to. And by that I mean when you choose to exist. Pile 3. I feel you. I'll never take away from your experiences. They happened, yes. And because I know that's not what you want, playing victim is counterintuitive. And you're over it. You don't want to be perceived as such by other people. So stop treating yourself as such unconsciously too, right? Like have the awareness now granted to you to know that you can have both safety and love. Love doesn't have to come with chaos. Connection no longer has to come with betrayal. It can actually it can come with love. It can come with safety. You can have both. You can have friendship. You can have trust. You can have loyalty. You can. That has to come with an openness though. Because otherwise you're only aligning to people who will mirror your narrative of being closed off to that. So no wonder you're unable to obtain it. This year is going to be a wonderful year that Spirit will grant you people, experiences, and opportunities that will allow you to shift your narrative. And I think that's really wonderful for you. And I'm very happy for you. I really am. Practicing gratitude, you're going to have plenty of opportunity to do that, you know? And the best way to do that, honestly, is by just breathing in the moment, keeping it simple, you know, like the quote unquote, like grounding yourself narrative. It's just breathing in the moment, taking a look around, observing what's going on. Y'all observe a lot anyways. I can sense that in your energy. I think it's also the hypervigilance. Pile 3. But to really like feel the chair that you're sitting on, you know, your feet on the ground, the people around you, the smells. It's in those moments, even in that 30 seconds, you inadvertently practice some form of gratitude because you're present. You're no longer dissociating. That's the thing, right? Spiraling too can be a sign of dissociation, at least in my intuitive opinion, because you end up leaving. You're out of your body, okay? I will also say that there is some form of cleansing that you might be embarking on at this time too, meaning like you can literally be going on like some sort of like a dietary cleanse, but I think that you might also be refraining from drugs and alcohol of sorts. It seems as though, I just heard nicotine, okay. There's something that you're kind of giving up, like a bad habit or something. And if it's something that you have been working on for quite some time, just know that like this change of narrative is also going to help with your dependency on that type of habit, right? Because like when you change, like internally, things around you start to change. The people around you start to shift. Some of them you grow out of, some of them you meet and bump into, others you take with you, right? It really also depends on people around you's ability to recognize their growth and karma, etc., etc. But focusing solely on you here, your routines are going to start shifting, your habits are going to start changing, your priorities will shift a little bit. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you look back at this time next year and be like, damn, like I barely even recognize myself anymore. I just heard Linkin Park in my head. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. Yeah. Y'all feel your feelings, okay? Express yourself. Remain as grounded as possible and know that, again, you can have both. That is a message that I will happily put on repeat. You can have both safety and love simultaneously. It no longer has to come with chaos, betrayal, denial, sabotage, okay? So don't sabotage a good thing for yourself either. We tend to do that. People, we do that. It's much easier to dream, to make plans, you know, to visualize, well, I would do it like this and I would have that. Like it's easier to do all that than it is to actually like take the action and initiate that change, because that would mean we would eventually have to take responsibility for our accomplishments. And that is like, that right there is the biggest oh my God moment for most of the collective. And so we kind of get stuck in the brainstorming and certain types of like parts of our way, you know, even if it's like people get really addicted to healing, for example, right? And by that, it's like they constantly are looking for something within themselves to like fix. And I have to work on this and work on that. And I got to meditate. And, oh, I accomplished this thing in my life and I healed my mommy wounds. So now I have to flip into my daddy wounds because I can't accomplish X, Y, Z without first doing that, right? Bullshit. You just get stuck. You don't want to keep moving, which is why practicing gratitude through grounding, allowing yourself to be more bored, you could really resonate with pile 2, especially if it has anything to do with some form of like relationship shifting and things like that. But nevertheless, pile 3, know that you can have both. And for a while. It's not going to be a quick shift. Again, I'm channeling in for like 12 months as practically, spiritually, and realistically as possible, but change of perspective doesn't just immediately come with like a switch from like super happy into super happy from like depressed or anxious or angry, etc., etc. You know, like it takes time. Like there's a merger, there's a duality. And so just remaining open to, again, kind of having the healing take place with the connection simultaneously. Like just know, like there will be hesitations. There will be opportunities for you to practice pulling yourself back, but also remaining open, right? Like there's something that you're meant to put out into this world that needs to be heard, that can really be a beautiful catalyst towards change, even if it's just your own healing, okay? It's so much less about like going viral and so much more about becoming the person that you have always wanted to be, that you kind of feel robbed from. Like if it wasn't for XYZ, you could have had this and that. True. And XYZ happened, right? We can't change that. But what we can do is take from it and initiate a rebirth. Phoenix, rebirth, new life. I mean, nah. Initiation is also a beginning too. It's death to the old you. And that part, a lot of people don't necessarily talk about that, right? Like the part of you that has to die in order for you to welcome in change, like that there is a mourning process, which is why I am also stating the importance of practicing gratitude in grounding. Just ground yourself. If you can't even be like super happy for the moment, just bring yourself into the moment anyways and just observe and see what happens. Trust me, unconsciously, innately, you will just start to feel, and the gratitude will come. The acceptance of yourself and your experiences in your life just will come. It's just about being in that moment. 30 seconds of pure awareness of self and environment. Doing that in nature is like the best way to do it, right? Like perhaps I'm biased just based on my own experiences, but becoming a hiker and being out in nature, even if it's just by myself, especially, actually, I prefer it by myself more than often than not, but allowing those moments of like pure connection through like disconnection from everyone else, again, like having that secret and like defense and protection over myself, and yet being so connected to the world simultaneously just by existing and observing the trees sway, the sun glisten on any rivers that are flowing, all of, you know, even me running away and screaming from bugs and shit, you know, or getting freaked out by like, you know, thinking that maybe there's like a wolf or like a bear or something close by. Like those things exist too. Like you have the fears, you have the doubts, the anxieties, and yet also peace simultaneously. You know what I mean? Like, but either way, it increases your level of gratitude. And that is kind of how we spiral upwards, because we're learning how to practice a higher vibration whilst also choosing to change behaviors and narratives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because what karma is a repeated loop, and it repeats time and time again. And the more that you choose to repeat your karma, the more you spiral up and down in the same spot. Spiral up and down in the same spot, you know, maybe I should do it like this so you guys can kind of see. You spiral up and down in the same spot. But when you choose to break out of karma by initiating a new action, a changed behavior, a new perspective, and you do that and you solidify that through action time and time again, right? What you do is you end up spiraling even further until the next karmic lesson comes into play, and you can stay stuck in this loop, having the opportunities to build and destroy time and time again until you keep moving up and up and up and up. The less that you choose to change, the more you're going to kind of spiral down, you know? But it's a constant spiral at the end of the day. Like, our energy is always moving, even if it seems as though we are in a pit of stuckness. You know, it's just in fact that we're repeating the same loops. We're not doing anything different. It's the quote unquote definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Right? Right. This year, it's a lot is going to change from you, from the inside out, and the external reality will shift quite dramatically for you too. And for what it's worth, I'm incredibly proud of you. I think that this is a spectacular year of rejuvenation, reincarnation, restabilization. There's a lot of Riris here, you know, and I ain't talking about Rihanna. And just know that you have my support if you'd ever need it. Okay, knmwitchery.com. You could always book a consultation with me too. Get to know me first before you decide to commit. Okay, just, you know, considering your trust issues, right? I get it. Or go to anybody else. All right. I also have Patreon too, in case you'd ever be interested in that. That's everything is linked down below on how to contact me. Send me a DM on Instagram, whatever. Notice how like I keep extending my hand, because I want y'all to know that like resources are available to you as soon as you remain open to them. Okay. And they will come from all directions, not just from myself. Like, stay open to who and what your soul is now realigning you to, okay? And then make the choice. Does this feed towards an upper spiral, right? A new life, connection, interconnection, whilst also maintaining a balance of independence, right? Interconnection is also a really beautiful balance of being dependent on others and independent and self-sufficient. It's the over dependence that we definitely want to avoid. And you're finding a really beautiful balance of that. You've got it. I'm excited for you. I don't know what else there is to say. I feel like now I'm going around in circles too. So pile 3, damn. None of these piles or readings are ever what I expect it to be. But nevertheless, I do hope that it helped anyone who needed it today. Do please reach out one form or another, if not with a comment below. Just give this a quick like. Let me know with your energy. I will feel you, pile 3. If I don't see you in another pile, I do hope to see you in another video. I will be uploading a lot more now on YouTube, so I do hope to see you around. And yeah, thanks so much again for being here. That's it for me. Peace.